Today I want to talk about optogenetics. What is this technique and what can it be used for? So optogenetics is a technique that allows us to control brain cells, neurons, with light. Typically, neurons are of course not light sensitive because they're deep inside the brain, inside the skull where it's always dark, so why would they be light sensitive? However, we can make neurons light sensitive by putting foreign proteins into them, and this can be done either with genetic mutations or it can be done by viral constructs. And a virus is basically an organism that naturally infects host cells and forces the host cells to express foreign proteins, in this case the light sensitive ion channels. And so once that is done, we have brain cells which are light sensitive, and there are a number of optogenetic proteins. Some are activated by blue light, some by red light, some by green light, and so forth. And some of those optogenetic proteins work inhibitory and some work excitatory, meaning when you shine light of, let's say, orange or green color onto the cell, that would typically activate a group of proteins called halorhodopsins, and they work to suppress neural activity, and thereby they have an inhibitory action. Then there are other proteins that are most of the time affected with blue light that work excitatory. That means they create neural activity where there wouldn't be any neural activity otherwise. So how do you get the light into the brain in a live animal or a human eventually? That is always a challenge because the brain and the skull are very opaque, and shining a light from the outside would do nothing. So one way to do this is to implant an optical fiber or a glass fiber into the skull and just in that area where you want the light. Then that fiber can be connected to a light source outside the brain, which is either an LED or a laser. And then when the laser is turned on, the light goes through the glass fiber into the brain and shines into that brain area of interest and does its action there, which is either turning on neural activity or turning off neural activity. So that is optogenetics in a nutshell.